Hi, I'm Chris, and welcome to the Whiskey Outpost. Now, I know what you're thinking. The Whiskey Outpost looks a lot like a whiskey couch in a whiskey family room. But right now, we're doing some whiskey remodeling. So, I wanted to get started with this new series that we're doing because it's 2023. That means it's a new year, and I wanted to try new pours. As a matter of fact, I'm going to try a new to me pour, one per day, every day in the month of January. Figure it's a good way to get things started. And quite frankly, if you're interested to know what I'm drinking throughout the month, why don't you go ahead and hit that like or subscribe button? Make sure you get the notifications so you can find out what I'm drinking every day. Now, before we get started with today's selection, I kind of want to talk real quick about what the rules of this month are. So, like I said, I've selected 31 pours that I've never tried. What I tried to do was find ones that aren't allocated so that hopefully if they're new to me and they're new to you, you can go out, you can find a bottle and you can try it for yourself. I did throw in a few allocated bottles, maybe one or two that might be a little bit harder, but that's because I was excited to try them. So hopefully nothing's too weird. And obviously the rules for allocation change by state and all that fun stuff that you know if you're a bourbon or whiskey hunter like I am. So what I can do is I can tell you that everything that I'm drinking, except for those few bottles, I can easily find on the shelves in a liquor store in the greater Kansas City area, basically. So hopefully that kind of helps, set some boundaries. But the key thing is when you see me try these drinks for the first time, it's the first time I've ever had it. Like you will get my candid, unedited response. I promise. So yeah, hopefully I don't make too many weird faces, but I'm sure that's going to happen at some point this month. Um, and with that said, we might as well go ahead and dive into the first drink that we're going to try for the night, which is Wild Turkey 101. Now, there's probably a lot of you out there saying, Chris, what is wrong with you? How have you never had Wild Turkey 101 after 44 years of your life? It's a good point. And believe me, the reason has more to do with my own personality problems than anything else. Uh, Wild Turkey 101 is obviously made by the folks that make Wild Turkey. And when I started off my whiskey journey, I started off as a college sophomore drinking Island of Jura Scotch. I don't know if you know if you've ever had Island Jura Scotch, but it is a sipper. And I, of course, like a good college sophomore, put it into a shot glass and took the whole shot all at once. When I regained use of my legs, I decided that maybe this whole distilled spirits, whiskey, bourbon thing wasn't for me and drank a lot of cheap beer. Anyway, by the time I got back into uh, the whole Scotch whiskey thing, I started off drinking Scotch, not Island of Jura Scotch, but other Scotches. And it wasn't until I started drinking Maker's Mark that I really found my love of American made whiskeys. And so that's what I drank. So it's kind of like I became a snob, sort of, I guess, because all I wanted to do was drink Maker's Mark. So when it came to the big boys, the larger, more corporate distilleries, that's really what I was drinking for the longest time. And then I started drinking more craft bourbons and kind of became a bourbon snob around that. And then finally I came back and said, hey, wait a minute, this Wild Turkey 101, it's showing up on all these lists. It's actually rated as one of the best bourbons for beginners, which I thought was kind of shocking, again, because I've got problems. And so I wanted to give it a shot. And so what we're going to do is we're going to start off. I've got two glasses here. I've got in a Glencairn glass, which I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I have Wild Turkey by itself, and we're going to talk about the nose and the taste of the drink. I also, because I prefer to drink whiskey on the rocks, I've gone ahead and I've set out a pour of Wild Turkey with an ice cube in it. Given the fact that Whiskey Dog here has barked a few times, this is not my first take, so the rock is a little more melty than I'd like, but I think it will be interesting to compare and contrast the nose and the flavor between both glasses, between what the rocks and the drinking it neat. So let's see how it goes. Now, if you're not familiar with Wild Turkey, It comes from Wild Turkey 101. It obviously comes from Wild Turkey Company. They've got two different mash bills that they use. The Wild Turkey 101 mash bill is the same that you would find in their other non-rye products. Basically, it's 75% corn, 13% rye, 12% barley. It is a non-age stated product, so that way they can blend together a 6 through 8 year series of bourbons to come up with something that they, of course, say is the premier bourbon drinking experience. I don't know because I've never had it, but we're about to find out. So here we go. The first thing we do is we smell a little bit. And the first thing I can tell you is you definitely get a little bit of proof. Actually, you get a lot of proof because Wild Turkey 101 is, of course, 101 proof. But you also get a really nice citrus flavor or smell off of it. The tasty notes off the website say there's some vanilla in there, and I definitely picked that up. Maybe a little bit of spice. So let's go ahead and try it. Hmm. And it's all there. I do get a little bit of orange peel. I definitely get that vanilla. It comes through a lot more when I'm tasting it. You also definitely get some proof as the whiskey is doing its best to attack my throat and tongue, but it's not unpleasant. It's not overwhelming. I certainly have some much proofier drinks in the renovated whiskey outpost in there. I get that spice. I get the orange. You certainly understand why a lot of people are choosing this as a really good beginner's bourbon because I think it's actually a gateway into some of the really, really strong, highly proofed drinks without being completely overwhelming. So, yeah, I have to say, uh, for as big of a snob as I've tried to be, I really have probably missed out on drinking some more of this Wild Turkey 101. Now, let's look at the drink when we have it on the rocks. Unfortunately, a lot of the nose is gone. And I can't tell if that's because the ice cube has completely melted, or I guess is melted so much that I no longer get a lot of those odors. It's also a larger glass, so a lot of the smell compounds get to go up into the air, and it's not going to be as strong of a odor. So I really have to stick my nose in there, and I get a lot of those same kind of vanilla spice, a little bit of orange notes that I got when it wasn't on the rocks. It's just a heck of a lot fainter. So let's try it. Drinking it on the rocks completely changes the whole experience of drinking this. Um, and as I said before, I really do like to drink things on the rocks. So I have to say that overall, I mean, it holds true. I still want to drink this on the rocks because what I'm finding is, and it's probably a lot of the water from the melted ice, but just chilling it down seems to really kill a lot of the proof. It does water down the flavor. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but I'm definitely getting the same vanilla. I'm getting the same spice. I'm getting the same everything. What I'm not doing is regretting life because of the burn. So I really think that there's something to trying this on the rocks. Yep, that's good. And then that's good. So yeah, I would say overall, Wild Turkey 101 is a bottle I'm excited I've got on the shelf. It is something that I would happily roll out to guests when they come over. And quite frankly, I think the proof on it is nice enough that during cold and flu cold and flu season, that's the thing, uh, make hot toddies out of that. Like there's enough proof that you're going to kill whatever's living in your throat, but it's got a flavor that's good enough. I think it would work well with just about anything. So yeah, overall, day one is off to a great start. I hope the rest of the bourbons I have on my shelf that I picked out are this good, and we're going to have a really really successful January. So once again, this has been Whiskey Outpost. This is day one of our New Year, New Pour series. If you like it, please leave a note in the comment section. You can make fun of me because I like to drink on the rocks. I get it. Whatever you want to do, let me know what you think about this. Hit like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.